Good morning, guys. Well, star testing is finally done, so that means that we're almost done with the school year. Just a couple of weeks to go and no more school assignments for like 2.5 months. Now, that doesn't mean you need to stop doing anything. It's important to remember to help out around the house, clean up messes, take on some responsibilities so your parents don't have to do everything, and you'll learn to be a better, more responsible person. Though it's also to remember that it's important to have fun and enjoy yourselves. Maybe learn to do something new or practice drawing, read some books. Do some enjoyable things that will also improve you at the same time, which I know sounds crazy, but it's true. Though it might be acceptable to veg out a bit for a week or so to just kind of decompress and de-stress after, a bit of a long year at school. I know that's what I plan on doing when school finally lets out. So, anyway, let's do our opening together. Repeat after me if you'd like, or just do the hand symbols with me. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are the church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. Together, we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world. Let's begin. Today, we're going to learn about making others feel welcome. If you're not sure what that means, then don't worry. I'm going to tell you guys a story today that kind of helps to explain and illustrate that, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it once the story is over. It's called Feeding His Coat. One day, there was a poor farmer out planting his crops. He was sweaty and tired, dirty, and very, very hungry because he hadn't eaten all day. He'd been super busy getting his crops taken care of. At that moment, a messenger came to his farm and handed him an envelope. Inside the envelope was an invitation to a large feast at the mayor's house that night. Excited, the farmer kept working, planting his crops and trying to get his work done before the dinner started. And before he realized it, it was time to go to the feast. He decided that even though his clothes were muddy and dirty, he would still go to the feast, and it wouldn't matter how his clothes looked because he didn't think he really had time to run home, clean up, get changed, and get to the feast before, he was really late, way too late. When he got there, many others were already there, and they were already eating. No one spoke to the farmer. No one moved out of the way so he could sit down, and no one moved out of the way so he could grab food. He was just trying to reach in between people, but no one it's almost like he was invisible. After a few minutes of only being able to get some rolls to eat, the farmer actually went back home. When he got there, he cleaned up a little bit and put on his fanciest coat and returned to the feast. When the farmer returned, suddenly everyone started talking to him, calling to him from across the room to chat with him, and gladly moving out of his way so he could grab food and sit down. As the farmer grabbed food, he started putting it in his pockets and telling his coat, "Here you go, eat up, enjoy." After a bit of doing this, more and more people started staring at him, wondering why he was acting so oddly. Finally, someone asked the farmer, "Excuse me, but why are you putting food in your pockets and talking to your coat?" The farmer looked up at him and said, "Well, when I first got here, no one would talk to me or even notice that I was here. However, when I came back with this coat on, everyone decided they wanted to talk to me. That's when I realized that I was never actually invited to this feast, but my coat was. So I wanted to make sure my coat enjoys itself." So, how do you think the farmer felt about what was happening? Has anything like this ever happened to you? Like, maybe you got invited to a birthday party, but you didn't really know anyone there and no one talked to you. It feels pretty bad, doesn't it? It feels like no one cares about you, that you're not very important, and it kind of just makes you want to leave. I know that's happened to me more than once. All it would take is for one person to come and talk to us, to want to hang out with us and have fun with us, to make everything feel better. When the farmer came back with his coat, everyone wanted to talk to him. Why do you think that is? This kind of thing has happened to me before. I was invited to a party once a long time ago, and no one really talked to me. I tried, but everybody was interested in talking to the people they already knew, and no one wanted to talk to the new guy. So I went back to my apartment and grabbed a video game called Guitar Hero. Have you ever heard of it? It's a pretty fun game. I'm pretty sure you have. Anyway, when I got back to the party, suddenly everyone wanted to talk to me and play the game with me. It was cool at first, but then I realized that if I hadn't gone and gotten the game, I would have been pretty lonely at the party. It made me realize that the other people there didn't seem to care about me. They seemed to care about the video game that I'd brought. It made me feel pretty bad. How can we keep, from making people feel like this? Well, there are a few different ways. Like, say you're at a birthday party, for example, and you see another kid there who's all by themselves and doesn't seem to be having much fun. Go and talk to them. If they want to play some games but no one is including them, go over and get them involved in the games. Be the one person who goes and talks to them, makes their day better. And if by your example, other people will see you doing it and they'll go over and soon everybody will be having fun. If we're at church, for example, and a new kid comes into the Cubbies room, go over and talk to them. Find out their name, what they like to do, who they are, all that kind of stuff. If you're playing with toys or playing a game, let them play with you. It will make their day feel very special. One of the most important things we can do in our lives is to make the people around us feel good and special. To do and say things that make their lives happier and better. When we make others feel welcome around us, we are making them feel good and special. Well, that's all I really have for you today, guys. I know it seems like, since I mentioned earlier, STAR is over with, it's okay to just stop trying with school. I mean, what could be important about the rest of the year, right? However, your teachers are still trying to make sure that you're ready for next year and you aren't completely lost when you get started. So keep paying attention in class and doing the work they give you, okay? They're not trying to be mean or trying to be evil. Trust me, they want the school year to be over with just as bad as you guys do. But they also know that you still need just a little more time to get ready for next year. Anyway, remember to make healthy choices, be kind and respectful, and I'll talk to you again next week. Later.